Alright boys, another day, another dollar, or not, as the case may be. But I'm going to talk to you about probably one of the biggest changes in the waste industry in a long time. Look at that, look. Oh, what a beast. What a beast. She's been running a long time, that body, and that one. Well, all tatty things, still doing the job. That one's been through about 10 different owners, that, and I buy it back and all that lot, and fucking brilliant. What a great van that is. I think that was Wally Neal's van, that, a kid from up north. Anyway, right, back to what I was saying. This is probably the biggest assault on the waste industry that you will ever have heard about. Not only the waste industry, businesses in the UK as well. And I will tell you, right, the government, and I don't know who comes up with these ideas, but it's certainly in me or you or any of the businesses in the... Do you know what? One thing in this country, they don't have to make a lot of decisions for us, don't they, without consulting anybody. But anyway, right, are you ready for what the government is now saying you must do? Without any questions, this is what everybody must do. You must have an individual skip at your premises if you have 10 or more staff. So I'll say that again. If you've got 10 or more staff, you must have an individual bin for each type of waste. So you'll have to have dry mix recyclables, which is going to be paper, stuff like that. You may have to have a glass one. We don't know the exact rules and regulations yet. I have read through some of it, but there's a bit to it. But basically, top and bottom is everything is going to be recycled at source. I'll tell you what, it's a bad fucking day to be alive if you've got a picking line. I've got a picking line. Luckily, I don't use it that much anymore. I just put the heavy stuff through it. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be doing it if I was... I wouldn't want to be doing that if I had £1 million picking station, and now the government is basically saying to us that it'll all be sorted at source. So who will this benefit and who will it hurt? So I suppose if you look at it like this, who will it help? Who does dry mix recycling? Biffa, Veolia, your big companies that specialise in dry mix recycling. And why do they specialise in dry mix recycling? The PRN system. And what is a PRN, you may ask? It's a packaging recycling note. And there's a lot of controversy around the PRN system. I'm registered for PRNs. Basically, long story short and top and bottom is, you recycle your material. A company like Coca-Cola makes 10 billion bottles a year, and what the government say is, which is right, you've got to recycle 50%. Because Coca-Cola have no infrastructure to actually recycle anything, companies like us recycle it for them, and Coca-Cola give us a little kickback. That's basically it. It promotes you to recycle, so it encourages you to recycle. What I've found is, I'm registered for PRNs, and I spent all year going around last year to find material, and what I found is that people actually pay for waste. They pay for it more than the PRN is. So let's say, for instance, we make these concrete blocks here. We actually make a little concrete block for building houses. I've actually built a full barn out of them. It's amazing. Built a full barn out of recycled glass. Not completely, a little bit of sand as well. And it was 18 tonne I used, or 19 tonne I think, and it took a full year to get that glass. 19 tonne, and the PRN is £20 a tonne. So let's say basically I got 400 quid for the glass, and it cost 500 quid for the licence per year. And when I was asking these people about PRNs and different stuff and all that lot, they basically said to me, showed me how much glass and whatever, because I was doing glass. And it works out, some of the wheeler bins probably had about 3 tonne in them, a normal household wheeler bin. So I'll let you think about that. And bear in mind, you get paid per tonne of glass you recycle. So I won't say any more about that, I'll just leave you to think about it. So for instance, you know, if you was to recycle plastic for Coca-Cola, plastic bottles, the PRN on that, the packaging recycling note, which is the money Coca-Cola will pay you, could be like £350 a tonne. Or if you make carrier bags. Do you remember when all them carrier bags turned up in Vietnam? In a field? Yeah, so anyway, right. I'll let you think about that one. So what's going to happen with these PRNs and these people having to have all these separate bins. Well, I'll tell you something, you certainly would not want a waste picking line, and you certainly would not want to be a small business owner. And what the council have basically said is, if you refuse to have your bins and stuff like that, there'll be enforcement action. So I don't know what that enforcement action will be, but you could end up with a fine or points or, you know, whatever. I don't know what that'll be. But what a time to be alive, where you're forced to recycle in a time where it has never ever been so difficult for businesses. This country is absolutely on its knees, and I can tell you that from the front line. So somebody who deals with people building, people who deal, you know, people, you go to their houses and drop a skip off. I speak to these people every day in my yard, and every single one of them is absolutely skint. From the top to the bottom, from the business owners to the people just working and everybody in between, they're really, really struggling. So what brainbox civil servant come up with this idea? I have got no clue. And do you know what, right? I've spoke to the Environment Agency about all this different stuff. Do you know the Environment Agency, as a matter of fact, and if you've got a waste company, you'll probably think, oh, the Environment Agency, they're actually all right, you know, and a lot of the time they share the same opinions as we do. It's mad, really, because you'd think you'd have nothing in common because they're the regulator and you're the regulated, but actually, as a matter of fact, the Environment Agency, I think, you know, on some of the ideas, they should do a consultation with the Environment Agency and people in the industry. I know obviously people don't like change, that's just human nature, we don't like change. But the change is to be measured, balanced, and, you know, make sense for everybody, so we can all earn a couple of quid, you know, save the environment, but also at the same time not lose our houses. And you know, it's all right us doing all this recycling we're doing this country and everything else, but the problem is, you know, our air is so clean, but what people don't realise is we shut all our coal stations, our coal power stations, and China got 40 new ones last year, and so did Brazil and all these other countries that have got 40. And what you don't realise is if you go 250 miles up that way into the ionosphere, I think it was 250 miles, I was reading it the other night, 25 miles, whatever, 25 or 250, the winds are at 250 mile an hour, and basically the full system of air that you breathe, the jet stream, it's recirculated around the earth. It doesn't go like that, it's in jet streams like that. So you might, you know, your North Pole, it might come down like that, and we get a bit of it in the equator. But basically, the air that we're breathing here today ain't going to be it's not going to be anything that came from anywhere near here tomorrow. So we're losing all our clean air. So we're cleaning our clean air, and it's going. Stopping diesel particulates and stuff like that, the particulates in fuel, burning fossil fuels, what happens with a lot of that, it drops into the ocean and it's like sucked down, and the ocean basically, like when you collect dust, collects a lot of the carbon, and that's why when you look at our air at source right now here, it's really clean. But you know, what is the point in all this shit if other people don't do the same thing? If it's not a fair system, and I say this often in my videos, you know, about businesses affecting other businesses and hurting other businesses, is it a fair system? Listen, I can stand, like anybody, stand there and be beat by a better man. Any day of the week, I could be beat by a better man, and I'm sure you could. But not if he's got 3 arms and you've got 2. And that is what some of these things feel like the government do. And if you want to be part of the people that actually make these decisions, you've got to pay for it. So you've got the Wood Recycling Association, you've got Worx, you might pay 500 or 600 quid a year to have a voice. And bear in mind, the Wood Recycling Association, I'd be surprised if they recycle any fucking wood. That's the problem. That sometimes that's the wrong people. So anyway, if you've got a picking line, I would have thought your material's going to go down. We're going to be you know, just going to be messing about with the heavy stuff, the C&D, the soil and hardcore and all that stuff. What I would say to you is, you know, if you are interested in that side of the waste job, which is your dry mix recyclables, your wood, your cardboard and everything else, I would get yourself out there and I would get yourself some wheelie bins and a little 7.5 tonner or 3.5 tonner and get some bins put on sites, because the wheelie bin market, doing wheelie bins is going to be hot property next year, that is for sure. So this is just a little video to get the week going. This is really specific to the waste industry. Yeah, it affects all businesses because you're all going to pay, you're all going to be paying for them bins, you know, but this is big news. They've been trying for this for quite a while, and in 2026 it'll be every single business. So my skip company, mine and my dad's skip company, we'll have to have 3 bins outside of our office for the office girls. One for waste, which is your food waste, one for dry mix recyclables, maybe one for glass, maybe one for paper. It's madness, and if I don't do it I get fined. Anyway, I'm gonna start thinking about getting myself back in the office, get this video edited, stick it online. It's Monday, and I hope you have a really good week, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.